ബ്രഹ്മതത്വം യുവാനം വരിശിഷ്ടാന്തേ വസതൃഷിഗണൈഃ ആവൃതം ബ്രഹ്മനിഷ്ഠൈഃ ആചാര്യേന്ദ്രം കരകലിതചിന്മുദ്രമാനന്ദമൂർത്തിം സ്വാത്മാ രാമം മുദിതവദനം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തിമീഡേ വടവിടവി സമീപേ ഭൂമിഭാഗേ നിഷണ്ണം സകലമുനിജനാനാം ജ്ഞാനദാതാരമാരാത് ത്രിഭുവനഗുരുമീശം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തിദേവം ജനനമരണദുഃഖച്ഛേദദക്ഷം നമാമി. ചിത്രം വടതരോർമൂലേ വൃദ്ധാ ശിഷ്യാ ഗുരുർയുവാ ഗുരോസ്തു മൗനം വ്യാഖ്യാനം ശിഷ്യാസ്തു ഛിന്നസംശയഃ നിധയേ സർവവിദ്യാനാം ഗുരവേ ഭവരോഗിണാം സർവലോകാനാം ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഓം നമഃ പ്രണവാർത്ഥായ ശുദ്ധജ്ഞാനൈകമൂർത്തയേ ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഗുരുരാത്മേതി മൂർത്തിഭേദവിഭാഗിനി വ്യോമവദ്വ്യാപ്തദേഹായ ദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. വിശ്വം ദർപ്പണദൃശ്യമാനനഗരീ തുല്യം നിജാന്തർഗതം പശ്യന്നാത്മനി മായയാ ബഹിരിവോർഭൂതം യഥാ നിദ്രയാ യസ്സാക്ഷാത് കുരുതേ പ്രബോധസമയേ സ്വാത്മാനമേവാദ്വയം തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ. ബീജസ്യാന്തരിവാങ്കുരോ ജഗതി തം പ്രാങ്നിർവികൽപം പുനഃ മായാകൽപിതദേശകാലകലനാം വൈചിത്ര്യചിത്രീകൃതം മായാവീവ വിജൃംഭയത്യഭിമഃ യോഗീവ യസ്വേച്ഛയാ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഇദം യസ്യൈവ സ്ഫുരണം സദാത്മകമസത് കൽപ്പാർത്ഥകം ഭാസത്തെ സാക്ഷാത് തത്വമസീതി വേദവചസാ യോ ബോധയത്യാശ്രിതാൻ സാത്കരണാത് ഭവേന്ന പുനരാവൃത്തിർഭവംബോ നിധോ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ. നാനാചിത്രകടോദരസ്ഥിതമഃ ദീപപ്രഭാഭാസ്വരം രാധികരണദ്വാരാ ബഹിസ്പന്ദതേ ജാനാമീതി തമേവ ഭാന്തമനുഭാത്തെ തത്സമസ്തം ജഗത് തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമഃ. ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ. ദേഹം പ്രാണമപീന്ദ്രിയാണ്യപി ചലാം ബുദ്ധിം ച ശൂന്യം വിദുഃ स्त्रीबालान्थजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्तावृशं वादिनः महामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदम् यप्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये अग्रतादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तःपुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जाग्रति वा य एष पुरुषः मायापरिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भास्य नलो निलुम्भरमहर्नाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत्किञ्चन विद्यते विमर्शतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभो तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणा सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिन्स्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात्तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्धेत्तत्पुनरष्टदा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम् ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम्. So we are on the 76th. Yada na lapate hetun uttamadhama madhyaman tada na jayate chittam hetva bhave phalam kutaha. So up to okay. Up to 74th verse, Gaudapadacharya gave the Vedanta Sara, namely Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. After giving the Vedanta Sara, now from the 75th verse onwards, There is a book also called Vedanta Sara, okay? Very beautiful book. After giving the Vedanta Sara, now from the 75th verse onwards, Gaudapadacharya is talking about the problem of samsara and also the remedy for this problem. Samsara karanam and also samsara nivritti sadhanam. When I happen to be ever free Brahman, how come I have become a miserable Jivatma? And how come I am caught up in the cycle of samsara? What is the cause and what is the remedy? So a diagnosis is given. And in 75th verse, Gaudapadacharya said, the cause is ignorance. It is the fundamental problem which has led to a chain reaching in the form of samsara. How did this ignorance come? You cannot never ask, because ignorance never comes. It is there from Anadi Kala, beginningless time. Anadi Avidya Vasanaya. The only saving grace is, even though ignorance is Anadi, beginningless, we can put an end to ignorance. If ignorance also Anadi and Ananta, then we would have been in trouble. How can this ignorance create problem? Now this must be your next question. And ignorance of what is the problem should be understood. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of what? Huh? Ignorance of Turiyam. Infinite. So what problem also will be what? Infinite. So which is my real nature? So Turiya Atmanam Ajnanam. Turiya Atmana Ajnanam is the cause. Atmanam Ajnanam is the cause. And this Ajnanam by itself does not produce samsara. Ignorance is bliss, we say, no? No problem. But the problem is, Ajnanam lead to adhyasa or misconception. Like ignorance of rope leads to misapprehension, misconception of snake. Similarly, Ajnanam leads to the misconception of Vishwa, Taijasa and Pratnya. I hope you know now Vishwa, Taijasa, Pratnya. Okay? I don't have to explain. Vishwa means waking. Taijasa means dream. Pratnya means deep sleep. And once I come down to Vishwa plane, and from the standpoint of Vishwa, the Stula Prapancha becomes very, very real. Just as from the dreamer's standpoint, the dream object becomes a reality, and therefore because of this Vishwatvam, Kama or desire arises. As Vishwa, the individual ego thinks that I am a finite ego. Only as Turiyam I am infinite. As Vishwa I am finite only. And therefore the sense of finitude leads to the desire to complete myself, and in front of me there are wonderful attractive things. So Kama is because of what? Sense of incompleteness. This sense of incompleteness because of what? Ignorance of completeness. So you wonder why did Bhagavan create this ignorance, unnecessarily. There is no answer to that. Yeah, Nirvajaniyam is one explanation. That's not an explanation. Inexplicable, that's true. Yeah, if you start thinking it, the intellect gets get into a wall, you see. Can't go further. So that is why you have to give up that one place, you have to surrender. That's what Shastra also wants you to lead you to a point where you give up. Yeah. So, just as from the dreamer's standpoint, the dream object become reality, and therefore because of this Vishwatvam, Kama or desire arises. As Vishwa, the individual ego, think that I am a finite ego, only as Turiyam I am infinite. As Vishwa, I am finite only. And therefore, the sense of finitude leads to the desire of complete myself, desire to complete myself. And in front of me, there are wonderful, attractive things. Therefore, I desire and things are in front. Hence, Gaudapadacharya said, Abhuta Abhiniveshaha. Obsession with the world which is really not there. Abhuta Abhiniveshaha. Very beautiful term. So what are you getting attracted? That which is not there. Now this one, if you remember, it will be very nice. So obsession with the world which is really not there. Therefore avidya leads to ahankara. Ahankara is Vishwabhavaha, and ahankara leads to desire, kama. Kama leads to karma. Karma leads to karma phalam. Karma phalam leads to janma. And this will lead to uttama, madhyama, athama, karma phalam. So Gaudapadacharya said in the 76th verse, Uttama Madhyama Athama Karma Phalan, in the form of Punyam Papam Mishram. Mishram means mixture. Punya Papa mixture is human birth. It is at 50 Papam, 50 Punyam is human birth. Now that also there will be some difference, isn't it? 60% Papam, 40% Punyam. Man. Okay. 60% Punyam, 40% Papam. Woman. Because I have maximum number here. I am the only man. So I had to say that.
But they say human birth only 50-50, right, Swamiji? Like
Yeah. No, in that human being also there is a great, man and, range, man. Now man also there, right? So animal man. Animal man. So even though human body is there, but the mind is animalistic, right? So all our minds are animalistic, but it is to tame them. So they call domesticated. Yeah. Like dogs, the wild dogs, but then you give it to the trainer and you bring him back, he'll be very obedient, isn't it? Same dog. Same way, our mind is all animalistic. It is all gifted from the animal kingdom. That's why samskara is required, education is required, discipline is required. All these things are required for what? For the maturity. So, just to become born as a human being is not enough. So he has to be a man. Then he rises to God man. Superman, right? No. God man. So, karma phalan. So Gaudapada is said in the 76th verse, Uttama, Madhyama, Atama karma phalan, the form of punyam, papam, mishram. The chain reaction is avidya, ahankara, kama, karma, phalam, janma. Once the punya papa mishram comes, it will lead to rebirth. There again, ignorance continue, and there also what we do, ahankara, kama, karma, punya papa phalam. It goes on and on. So hell is what? Like getting an animal birth. That's hell. So that period also, it is like a punishment. You are condemned to hell. There is no eternal hell. It's only a punishment for a certain time. That animal also died. That soul get liberated. So all the turkey you are killing, they get liberated. They are all waiting there in the path of hell, waiting for you. Poor you. They are waiting. It is written in Bhagavatam. Yeah, when Raja was killing all the animals for sacrifice, and he killed so many animals for sacrifice, and then one day Narada got pity on him. He came and said, you know what you are doing? All the animals are waiting there with a lathi for you to walk through. Then he got frightened. He gave up. Therefore, ignorance continue, and there also what we do, ahankara, kama, karma, punya, papa, valam, it goes on and on, life after life. You can never stop this cycle without removing the fundamental cause, that is ignorance. Therefore, Gaudapada says in the 75th verse, second line, dvaya abhavam saha buddhva eva. Buddhva is the crucial word. Only by knowledge the problem goes. First you remove avidya, then ahankara goes. Means I know I am Vishwa Tejasa Pratnya Vilakshana Turiyam Asmi. And once the ego goes, desires goes, karma goes, there is no fresh addition of punya papa. And prarabdha is exhausted and sanchita is burned. Once the karmas are gone, I told you that, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agamika karma, they are all belong to whom? Ego. Ego, right? If ego is not there, everybody become orphan. You remember the example? Mr. Muhammad. got married 3 times. Because they can marry 4 times, right? So that's why I don't say Hindu by name, Muslim name. Muhammad married 1946. Then second time he married 1960. Third time he married 1980. And he was thinking of marrying the fourth one and giving talak to the first one. So when they say talak 3 times, divorce. And at that time, Muhammad died. Who became the first widow? Tricky question. First wife became first widow, right? Second wife became second widow. Third wife became third widow. No, all the three at once, isn't it? Because all the three are belonging to this Muhammad. When Muhammad died, all the three at once become widow. Same way, Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, Agamika karma belong to whom? Mr. Muhammad ego. Once ego die, what happened? All the three become widowed. So that example don't forget. Once the karmas are gone, there is no question of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam, etc. That was said in the 76th verse, Uttama Madhyama Athaman Hetun Nalabhate. Tada, knowledge arises, Chittam, Jivatma who is Jnani attains Mukti. Because Hetu Abhave, the cause is absent. Cause is what? Ignorance. Ignorance is absent, then there is no more Janma, he gains Mukti. Phalam Kutaha, where is the effect? So, Hetu Abhave Phalam Kutaha, he asks. Then there is no effect. The rule is Karana Nashe Karya Nashaha. Therefore, what is the cause of samsara? Ignorance. Solution is what? Knowledge. Nothing else. At Gaudapada, and you try any other method, it doesn't work. Our Gurudev used to give an example. So, darkness in the room. You try any method to remove the darkness. Call the servants to sweep. Take it in the bucket, all. No, it will not go. He dramatizes so beautifully that a king was there, old style king. He got drunk in the evening. Suddenly the room became dark. He called the minister, hey, how come there is darkness in this room? Because he was drunk. He called the servants, remove the darkness, sweep the floor. Nothing happened. At that time his queen heard this. She brought one lamp. Once the lamp came, darkness disappeared. Same way, ignorance is a darkness. You do anything. You do meditation, you do yogasana, upside down standing, shirashasana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Nothing happened. The ego will sit there. Ego will take credit to that. Ah, I am a great meditator. See my siddhis. I have that power. I have this power. I can read your mind. I can read your future. All those things comes. I'm not saying you don't get those power. Yes, you get it. But what happened finally? That become an addition to the ego. A feather on his cap. So that's why the only method is knowledge, and that knowledge should remove the ignorance. Ignorance alone will remove what? Ignorance, no, knowledge alone will remove ego. Yeah, it will not remove ego, it will fatten the ego. So, and Gaudapadara Acharya doesn't say here how to get that knowledge. He assumes that they are fundamental. They are fundamentals which are known to us, because he has already given that in the second and third. In Mundaga it is said, Tat Vijnanartham sa Gurumevavagached Shrutriyam Brahmanustam Samitpanihi. Lord Krishna also tells the same thing. Tat Vidhi Pranipadena Pariprasnena Sevaya Upadechanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. So this knowledge has to be gained from the feet of one's own Guru. That is why somebody called and asked, today is snow, can we come? There is no snow today. No. I said, nothing doing. Because Vedanta should be heard from directly, face to face, not through video. But anyway, what to do? There is no other way now. For people, they have no other choice. At least something. Continuing. Animittasya chittasya yanutpattis samadvaya ajadasyaiva sarvasya chitta drishyam hi satyataha. In this verse, Gaudapada Acharya is answering a possible doubt that may arise after studying the previous verse. When the karmas are destroyed by knowledge, then he will attain moksha. Yada tada. When knowledge is gained, when karmas are destroyed, then moksha comes. This is what he said. So, in the normal course, what we conclude, when we follow all the sadhanas, moksha will happen in future. Once we follow all the sadhanas, moksha will happen in the future. And moksha will be taken as a result which originates at a particular time. See the problem? Since such a misconception can arise in the mind of a student, Gaudapada Acharya wants to negate that idea. We should never think that moksha will arrive at a particular time. If you say, as a result of jnanam, samsara ends at a particular time and moksha begins on a particular date and time, then whatever has a beginning will have an end also. Your moksha also become temporary. Because the law is jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mridasya cha. So who are born, they have to die. And people who die, they will born also. This is a rule. Asmat apariharyarthe aivam shochitum arhati. Something that is inevitable. Why are you crying unnecessarily? Somebody die, people suddenly get afraid. What will happen to me? No, you will also die. So be prepared for it, that's all, then there is no problem. Therefore, we should never conclude that moksha is going to begin. Then what should be our understanding? The beginning of moksha is a figurative expression for the removal of the notion that I am bound. We are not creating knowledge, okay? We are removing ignorance. Knowledge that is Paramatma is already there. I gave you that example. A sculptor bring a stone to the studio, and after 1 month you go and tell him, congratulating him, what a beautiful Krishna you created. What will he say? I never created. Krishna was there. I removed what was covering him. That's what it is. So otherwise people think moksha is not going to happen for me. Moksha is not going to happen for me because it happens to be my own sarupa. Nitya mukta sarupa I am. Nitya shuddha buddha mukta sarupaha. Then what do you mean by the term attainment of moksha? This we always say. It is a figurative expression for dropping the notion that I am bound. And when that notion is gone, we may use the expression moksha has come. But really, the fact is moksha has not come, but I have recognized the fact that I have been mukta all the time. Now what is realization? What a fool I have been. This is realization. Now, will anybody admit that? That's why you ask somebody, do you realize? They will never say, I have realized. What is the statement you will have to make? Now, if you can enjoy this joke, that's what it is. It is so close, it is so simple. How did I miss it? That is the thought. So I have recognized the fact that I have been mukta all the time. I have been, in Gujaratis they have a name, Mukta Ben. So I am Mukta Ben all the time. And therefore, Gaudapada says, moksha is not an event happening, at a particular time. You cannot give a time. That's why Swamiji, how long I have to study Vedanta? So that I can put a time. I will get moksha. Now, Mullah Nasruddin, I remember a joke. Mullah Nasruddin was going out walking during night. During night, he was moving through a village. And then there was a well which he happened to see. And he was curious to know what was in the well. He looked into the well and he saw the full moon into the well. Full moon, Mullah thought that the moon has by mistake fallen into the well. He wanted to do some service to the society by lifting the moon out of the well. He got some rope and at the end he put one hook to catch the moon. He put the rope and was trying to hook the moon. After several attempts, finally he got the moon hooked and he was pulling it out, but it was a rock. And he started pulling, but the rock wouldn't move. But the rope got snapped. He fell into the well with his face up. Even though he had a bump and pain, he saw the moon up smiling at him. He was so happy that due to his forceful pulling, the moon again went back to the original state. So moon went into the well and moon went back to the sky. Gaudapada Acharya says this is called liberation. So Jivatma, that's why you have to laugh at your own joke. This folly. If you are able to laugh at it, then you enjoy life. Otherwise suffer unnecessarily for no reason. So Jivatma think that I am in the well of samsara. And all the struggles called Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka Sampatti, all these are like pulling the moon out of the well. Jivatma moon from the well of samsara. All the time I was liberated. Once you know the moon was always there, then the Brahma that the moon is in the well goes away. Falling into the well is mithya. Lifting is also mithya. Samsara is mithya. Samsara nivritti is also another adhyasa. Therefore he says, Chittasya anutpattihi. The Jivatma has now attained freedom from birth. Seemingly birthlessness has come to Jiva. Just like the moon has gone up now, similarly Jivatma attained moksha. What type of Atma? Animittasya. The Atma which is free from all karmas, which is responsible for punarjanma. Nimittam means karanam for punarjanma. Uttama, Madhyama and Athama karmas are called nimittam. Animittam means free from the threefold karmas which are responsible for punarjanma. And ajatasya, this Jivatma really speaking, free from janma, etc. And sarvasya, and that Atma alone appears as the pluralistic world. Remember, the waker alone appears in the dream as pramata and prameya and pramanam. Similarly, one Atma alone, sarvasya means sarvatmakasya atmanaha. Sarvatmattvamiti sputikritamidam yasmadamusmin stave. That same idea. And such an Atma which is changeless, free from karma, which alone appears as the pluralistic world. Such a Jivatma anupattihi means muktihi. The freedom, moksha has come. And that moksha, which seems to be an event in time, is really speaking, sama means it has been there all the time. It is not a new freedom acquired by sadhana. It was a freedom, it is a freedom which will exist in future also. Sama means trikala avasthayam. Then what happened? I thought I am bound and now I have dropped that false notion. Dropping the notion figuratively mentioned as attainment of moksha, freedom. Really speaking, it is not a new state, and advaya, it is not divisible into past, present and future. It is uniform and ever available. Why do we say so? Because yataha tat chitta drishyam. The bondage that we talk about is not a real bondage. Chitta drishyam tad. That janma marana cycle is chitta drishyam, means mithya. Chitta drishyam means the object of consciousness, and we have previously seen that all objects are mithya because it has no independent existence of its own. Yat drishyam tat mithya. This we have seen before. What is required is waking up. Prabhota samaye swatmanam eva swayam tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namayitam Sri Dakshina Murtaye. He has to wake us up. On waking up, you don't solve the problem, but understand that there was no problem. On waking up, what do you say? Dream. Scare was not there, isn't it? You don't solve the problem, but you dissolve the problem. Therefore, when is mukti? Mukti is my surupam. Don't wait for mukti, okay? It is your nature. Continuing 78. Buddhva nimittatam satyam hetum pradhaganapnuvan vitashokam tatha kamam abhayam padamashnute. The snow is there, huh? It's falling now. But it doesn't stay in there. So our sorrows and joys are due to giving reality to the world. How can we not give reality to the world when problem comes, isn't it? Until then, we can laugh at it. But once the problem hits you, then how can we? That time also you should think it is not real. This will pass. And as this person dwell upon the teaching more and more, he will get more and more clarity. Vishwaha, Taijasa are both karta, and I am akarta. I need not destroy karmas. I know I am akarta. That is what is required. Because we have this thought that if you do a prayachitta karma means neutralization. So in our karma kanda, this is there given. Christianity also it is there. It is the what you call kumbhasaram, confession. So that if you confess what you have sinned, then you are free from that, or you are absolved of your sin. Now the same thing is there in Hinduism. We have rituals which you perform, then what happened? Your prarabdha or whatever be the papa you have done, especially Gayatri Homam is generally advised for papa karmas. So if you do Gayatri like 24,000 times, because 24 letters, 24,000 times, then most of your papas go. But the problem is, in Sanchita karma, how many papas are there, we don't know. How many lives papas are sitting there, we don't know. So one particular papa you may do prayachitta. So this was given in Bhagavatam also. Because Bhagavatam, this Parichita asked this question to Shukamarshi, that, see, when he heard the Naraka Varnana, the hell Varnana, the description of hell, there were 28 different hells are there. And each hell, what kind of papa you have done and what hell you go through, that is description also there. Very detailed. So, that a human mind can think of doing what kind of papa, all of them are thought of. You see, you don't think that you can improve upon that. No, that is not possible. Everything is thought of. And this papa you do, you go through this. Like that, this is, all Puranas talk about it. Not only Bhagavatam, but in Shiva Purana also it is there. But when he heard this, he got frightened. Then he asked, what is the remedy for this? Then Sukamarshi first gives Prayaschitta karma. In Karma Kanda, the first portion of Vedas, the Purvabhaga, it is given what? All rituals. So every papa there is a ritual. You consult an astrologer and he will tell you the Grahanila, and then you say this papa you must have done, that is why you are going through this. Why this Graha has come to this particular point at this particular time, all this because of your papa. Now Shani, why it is giving? It is your karma bala. Like this, there is an explanation. Now, then Parishita asks, suppose he does Prayachitta karma and he feel free, but then again he will do same thing. Like Sunday they go and confess, Monday they start again. Now I am free, I can do. Like that. So it is a Kunjara Snanam. Like a bath of an elephant, yeah. So, what is the remedy? He asked. There he gives Bhagavan Namam. Take the name of Lord. It's a simple method, but simple method people think that it is not effective. It is something like a doctor doesn't charge money and you think that he is a useless doctor. Unless the doctor charges big money amount, then only you think that you have done something. Nothing like that. Sometimes homeopathy pills will help you. Certain problems. So, this here Bhagavan says, here the Gaudapadacharya says, instead of trying to remove your prarabdha or sanchita karma, agami karma you cannot because that is future. So this sanchita karma, we don't know how many are there. Instead of trying to do all that, why don't you get out of it? This is the intelligent way of doing it. Jump out of it. Don't be in the fence. Karma is a fence. However much you try to high jump it, it will keep increasing, isn't it? Pole vault, it doesn't work. So get out of it. That is the point. That is the point he is making here. So consider, understand that all of them are mithya. So what is my real nature is beyond. When karta itself is mithya, then how can karma be satyam? Therefore my karma rahitatvam is my real nature. This has to be assimilated. Mind itself is unreal. How can a real world mind can create when mind itself is unreal? In fact, the very purpose of nididhyasanam is to drop the expectation of moksha as an event because it is my surupam. Buddhva, the seeker has to clearly know that I am karma rahitaha. Not only that, prathak hetum anapnuvan. Some people may say, I am free from karma now, but future karta may come. If Vedanta is clearly understood, then one knows that not only he is free from karma, but also know that I can never accumulate karma. Karma can go towards only a karta. If kartrutva bhavana, that is why Bhagavan in Gita very much emphasized that kartrutva bhavana has to go. And when I am akarta, turiya atma, how can karma come towards me? Therefore, Gaudapadacharya says, hetum anapnuvan. He doesn't see any fresh karmas coming towards him. So these verses in Gita you can explain only when you know Mandukya. Okay. Achetyo yamadakyo yamakletyo shoshyameva nityas sarvagadastanuhu achaloyam sanadana. Now fresh karmas are agami karmas. They do not come to me. Prathak hetum, any fresh karmas, anapnuvan, coming towards him, when this is clearly understood as a fact, not as an opinion of some scriptures or some guru, but this is a fact for me. Padam asnute, then that person attained moksha padam. Means his struggle for moksha ends. He no more looks upon him as a sadhaka, he sees himself as siddha. What type of moksha? He explained the glory. Vita shokam, he is free from all kinds of grieving business. Akamam, freedom from all selfish desires. which are born out of apurnatvam. Every selfish desire is born out of the notion that I am incomplete. Such desires never arise in his mind. If at all he has some desires, they are not desires for purnatvam, fullness, but they are desires to contribute to others' purnatvam. Suppose Mahatma Jivan Mukta Purusha also does social work. Not because he wants to fulfill, it is to bless others. So somebody went and asked the journalist went and asked Gurudev, why are you doing all this social work, COD? Then we started COD. You are a sannyasi, you don't have to start all that. Swamiji said, that is the difference between you and me. So I have this desire to help them. So that is why I am doing. Now look at this. There are 600 villages we are doing now. Himalayas. All these Pahadis, they are all Rajputs, you see. Mughal time, these people ran away to the Himalayas, settled down there. That is why the tradition there is the ladies work and men don't work, because men are used to going to battlefield. They are soldiers, you see. They don't do household work. The household work was done by women. So that's why now the whole culture has changed after we took over God. Such a beautiful thing. That thought came to Gurudev. Gurudev thought that these people, when we were sannyasis, these people were giving us bhiksha. Now it is our duty to give them back. So that was how we started that. Padam ashnute, that person attained moksha padam. What type of moksha? He explained the glory, vita shokam. He is free from all kinds of grieving. Akamam, freedom from all selfish desires, which are born out of apurnatvam. Every selfish desire is born out of the notion that I am incomplete. Such desires never arise in his mind. If at all he has some desires, they are not desires for purnatvam, fullness, but they are desires to contribute to others' purnatvam. Helping others to gain same purnatvam. Non-binding loka sangraha ichcha. Sampashyan kartumaskasi. Loka sangrahamevaya. Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarkasi. Then abhayam, free from insecurity, fear. It is the most symptoms of samsara, constant insecurity. There are some people always afraid. They ask why? No particular reason. Everything we require in life, whether they are in the form of fame, name, position, wealth, people, everything is driven by the fundamental sense of insecurity. I want company. It's kind of bore ho jate hain. We are bored. So let us throw a party. For what? Company. Yeah, just वार्तालाप करेंगे. Then after the party, cleaning up and all that, the time you think, why did I? So much of confusion in the kitchen. As we grow old, insecurity increases. What is moksha? Abhayam pratishtam vindate. We can never security for the body. Turiyam is ever secured, therefore abhayam, akamam, vitashokam. These are three descriptions of moksha padam. Abhayam, akamam, vitashokam. In all of them, Gaudavadacharya is repeating Buddhva. In 75th verse, 78th verse, also he uses the word Buddhva. He emphasizes the only solution is Jnanam. What about karma and bhakti, yoga? We don't condemn them. They are wonderful service. Nama japa, puja, upasanas are all beautiful. Everything is glorious, but none of them will solve the problem. But they will lead you to jnanam. Prepare the mind for shravanam, mananam, nidhyasanam. So don't neglect that, do it. Continuing. Apota viniveshadhi sadrishe tat pravartate vatsvabhavam sabuddhaiva nissangam vinivartate. Now here he gives the logic of liberation. How the persistence of jnanam will keep the bondage going, and how the knowledge alone remove the samsara. This logic here is not a fanatic assertion. To remove darkness, the only path is bringing light. When I say it is not fanaticism, it is a statement of a fact. Multi-path theory is valid for chitta shuddhi. So, all these karma samuchayam, karma jnana samuchayam, bhakti jnana samuchayam, all these things are all people talk about it. They are all good for chitta shuddhi, mental purification. but we never accept it for liberation. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastupalabdhaye. Vastu siddhihi vicharena na kinchit karma kodibihi. In one verse, Shankaracharya said that. So, multipath theory is valid for Chitta Shuddhi. We never accept it for liberation. Therefore, Gaudapadacharya says here, Abhuta Abhiniveshaha. As long as you are attached to the Mithya Shariram, Abhutam means Mithya. Bhutam means existent. Abhutam means that which is not really existent, means Mithya. What does he refer to here? This Mithya Shariram, Abhiniveshaha, strong attachment to the body, obsession with the body. The more we are attached to the body, the Vishwa gets strengthened. Stula Sharira Abhimani makes you Vishwaha. From the Stula Sharira Drishtya, Jagrat Prapancha is real. Only from the Turiya Drishti, Jagrat Prapancha is Mithya. The law is, from the standpoint of one Mithya Shariram, another Mithya Prapancham becomes Satyam. From the standpoint, if you take this body as real, then the world also becomes real. Very important law. From the standpoint of one Mithya, another Mithya becomes Satyam. From the standpoint of dream body, the dream tiger is Satyam. As a Vishwa, Jagrat Prapancha is real, and therefore I develop strong Ragadvesha towards every object. In all the movies, what we see, Mithya, so real. And we also say, what a beautiful story. What a beautiful movie. How wonderfully acted. Who? Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan. Simple tennis game you watch. Japanese girl American against American. Yeah? Slowly you develop affinity towards which side you are, we don't know. The nature of mind is that it carries some guna to get stuck somewhere. Isn't it? Tennis match, Wimbledon. Suddenly you develop attachment to one particular player, isn't it? Ayo, pao. Why? You have nothing to do with that person. You don't even know him or her. But you feel you get attached. That's our nature. Sadrishe, similar, mithya object one goes after. Same way, we also go after mithya object. In fact, most of the time, what the mind is preoccupied with, if you analyze, the mind is obsessed with the Saguna Prapancha. Because Saguna Prapancha alone can support the Saguna Sharira. Saguna Prapancha means this world. Our mind is preoccupied all the time, isn't it? Balastavat kridasaktaha, tarunastavat tarunisaktaha, vruddhastavat chintasaktaha, parame brahmani kopinasaktaha. Bhagavan Shankaracharya laments. There is no time for reveling in Brahman, but knowing the higher nature alone is a samsara nivritti. Even though that is a fact, but nobody is interested. Unless you falsify the body and the world, it is not possible. Therefore he says in the second line, Saha Buddhva, he repeats Buddhva to remind us the seventh mantra. Saha Vitneyaha, said that in seventh mantra. Sa Vitneyaha. Sa Atma Sa Vitneyaha. You should give prime time to know the truth. Once I elevate, this is not a choice. Okay. Paramatma realization is not a choice. But right now we think it is a choice. But it is not a choice. So once I elevate myself to Turiya, then I will know both Jagrat and Sapna Prapanchas are Mithya. And Mithya means it is as good as non-existent. And therefore Gaudapada Acharya says, Vastu Abhavam. Buddhva. Vastu Abhavam Buddhva. He comes to know the non-existence of Jagrat Prapancha. Vastu means object in the Jagrat Prapancha. Abhavam, non-existence. Just as on waking up the dream becomes non-existence, so too from Turiya Drishti, all Jagrat Prapancha has no existence. Then what will happen? There is a small difference between waking up from dream and waking up from this world. When I wake up from the dream world physically disappears. Therefore, I don't experience the dream world at all. But when I have the spiritual awakening, I know that I am that Turiyatma. This Jagrat Prapancha will not physically disappear. The experience of the Dvaita Prapancha will continue. Then what is the difference? Previously, I experienced Dvaita Prapancha and attributed reality to that because of ignorance, whereas after Turiyat Jnanam, experience will continue, but I won't attribute reality to duality. Therefore, between wise person and ignorant person, there is no difference at the experience level. Both will perceive Dvaita Prapancham. One mistake Dvaitam as Satyam, whereas the other knows Dvaitam is Mithya. The difference is at the understanding level. Example of sunrise. Even after knowing that sun is not rising, but even then we experience sunrise, but knows it is not rising. Vedanta will not stop Dvaita Anubhava. Vedanta remove Dvaita Satyatva Bhranti. That is what is said here, Vastu Abhavam Sabuddhva. Now the next question is, because of the change in understanding, not in experience, what benefit a wise person get? Gaudapada Acharya says, The benefit is one will not develop ragadvesha towards a mithya vastu. Once you know the $100 bill he is giving you is a fake note, then you have no interest in that currency, isn't it? You remember in India the currency changed, isn't it? Eh? What was that 500 rupee note, right? 1000 rupee note. And then afterwards what they did with that note? The mumfali wala, mumfali. This peanut, they sell. They make cones, the corn. That currency note was used for making that cone. No value at all. In Mexico, they said when they devalued the currency, they used it for toilet paper. That bad they are with the currency note also. So mithya prapancha, like that, mithya prapancha cannot generate attachment. Remember, fake note. Therefore, running after mithya, fake, security will end. Running after mithya prapancha for what? Security. That will end. Therefore, he says, Nissangam vinivartate. This wise man developed detachment. So generally people sympathize who are detached, you see. He's a wise person. This wise man developed detachment. His mind withdrawn from all struggles. However thirsty a person be, he will never run after mirage water. Think about it. Actually, this is the only thing you should think. Nothing else. Everything else is useless. Okay. We'll stop here today. Verse number 80. Eh? What? What? Yeah, 80. Oh, 80. 80 we chant? Oh, okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.